Today I'm going to respond to the 4 Things challenge that was issued a while ago. And I'm doing a bit of an unconventional one because this really only applies if you're planning on directing a production of Godspell, which I feel like none of you are, although I don't know your lives. But Godspell is a really good show, and it holds a special place in my heart because I was in a production of it back in 2006, which was easily one of the more meaningful theater productions that I was a part of, and I feel like it's really easy to do poorly. So this is 4 things to keep in mind if you are planning on directing a production of Godspell. This is in no particular order, although I do think the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the most important. Number 1, when looking for a person to cast as Jesus, don't cast someone who hasn't done acting before. I think Godspell is a great show for someone to do who hasn't acted before, but not the part of Jesus. Jesus is a big part, and he moves the plot forward throughout the entire show. There's a lot to remember and a lot to do. I think this part is difficult for someone who has been doing this for a while. Don't cast a newbie. And you might be thinking to yourself that that's pretty obvious, but all of the points that I'm making here I have seen in a production before, so there you go. Number 2, this show works better with no more than 10 people. Jesus, Judas, and 8 followers. I've even seen it work with 9 people. Once you get to, say, 14 people, it really stops working. The thing is, this show is a show about community. It's about these 8 people rallying around this one person and becoming closer because of it. The more people you add, the less intimate the show becomes, and that's really a problem. Now, I don't have an issue with musicals with big casts. This show just isn't one that should have a big cast. By the end of the show, your cast should be best friends with each other. That's just the kind of show it is. I consider myself to still be close friends with the other members of the cast of the show that I did 13 years ago now, even though I haven't seen most of them in years, and 2 of them are my siblings. The bigger the cast, the harder it is to be close, and that kind of defeats the purpose of the show. 3, this show doesn't need a chorus. It, in fact, shouldn't have a chorus. This show should just have the, at most, 10 cast members and the band. Again, show about community. Having a chorus kind of takes away from that, especially if you have them sing the prologue. Now, it's possible some of you don't fully know what I'm talking about. If your knowledge of Godspell comes just from the movie, you might not even realize that there is a prologue. Although, if you've been following my brother for a while, you might remember that he did cover that at some point. Cover the prologue. Did sang prologue. Words are hard. Anyway, the prologue consists of the 8 followers playing different philosophers and singing their philosophy both separately and then all together. It sounds completely cacophonous, but that is the general idea. This opening number completely contrasts the ending when the 8 followers have become a group. It shows that they've come together as a community. Having a completely different group of people sing the prologue kind of ruins the point. It's like saying, oh look, these group of people don't get along. They probably still don't, but we're not following their story, so who knows? I know that this song is difficult, but you really need to have the cast members sing it if it's going to make any sense to the overall plot. Finally, number 4, this story is not about Jesus. Yes, he is a big and important part of it. Yes, this story couldn't happen without him, but it's not his story. Again, this story is about community, so it's about his followers, not him. If you are choosing to direct this show because you want to tell the story of Jesus, don't pick this show. There's a note in the script at the end of the show left there by Stephen Schwartz himself. I don't remember the exact wording, and I don't have the script with me here in Minnesota, but I'm remembering that it goes something like this. Some people choose to use curtain call as a resurrection scene for Jesus. These people completely miss the point. It doesn't get much clearer than that. The creator of the thing that you are choosing to direct is telling you that you shouldn't include a resurrection scene. Because this story isn't about Jesus, even if you want it to be. I have no doubt that there are plenty of shows in the world that tell the story of Jesus. So if you want to tell the story of Jesus, go find one of those, because this one ain't it. Again, I acknowledge that this video probably isn't for anyone watching, but hey, if you're planning on directing a production of Godspell, just keep these 4 things in mind. I think Godspell's a really good show, and I think it always deserves to be done well, which is why I made this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see all of you tomorrow.